I'm actually the TA of one course.
Nice.
So for sometimes when I like looking for the article and I'm asked to generate the quiz question, I'll put the article link to the AI and I'll also feed the syllabus of our course and see if AI see any like connection between the syllabus and the course and probably generate some of the potential question that we can use, and then we can check that, and it's quite really efficient and is really directly connect to each other because the way they are searching for words is pretty accurate, I would say.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Dolph Vincent Hennis. I'm back here at the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Today I am joined with a couple of my friends here. Awesome to have you guys. So just to kind of start off, I guess what has your experiences have been with AI? So in what form? And we can contribute from there. So.
Yeah, I'm Ivan. I am at the Granger School of Engineering. I'm a grad student. I am doing civil engineering. My major is transportation, and I'm also a Fulbright researcher. I'm from Uganda. So in the transportation field in particular, I would say AI has helped us like manage the transport data and synthesize it and make it like more like understandable to like the stakeholders and stuff like that. So it helps us to save time, if I could phrase it in one way. It's definitely been super helpful. Maybe I could expand on that later, but it's been the main point for me in terms of work. I have actually interacted with a program that like captures number plates back in Uganda. It captures the number plates and then links it to a database that like has categorizations of weight by each car so that you just get the damage on the road and just easily skip through. And so it's been super helpful. On a personal side, I don't know if I could say the personal side now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do use AI to like write recipes. Like I tell ChatGPT, this is what I've got. Just give me a Michelin star quality, give me a recipe, and it will cook up something. And it's been pretty good so far. So yeah.
Nice. Both from the work and personal side then. Delancy.
Hi, I'm Delancy, and I'm a junior student majoring in communication. I'm also an international student from China. I feel like it's pretty general use in my major because communication is a broad major. So we write article for the most of the time. So it's really good if AI can quickly collect all of the information we need and point us to some specific website or the journal. That would be pretty helpful. Or maybe that could help me to organize the outline of my article, like point me about some steps that I want to follow. That is also pretty helpful. But for the personal perspective, I use that to write emails sometimes because I'm an international student, so there's a lot of grammar error or pronunciation. I'll like use the AI to adjust the overall tone, so make it more professional.
Nice. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Rashmika.
Hey everyone, I'm Rashmika. Right now I'm doing my master's in technology management at GIS Business School, and I'm a graduate student from India. So I worked as a consultant, so there's a lot of interaction with clients. So I just use it to make sure like my tone is professional, and also about my studies. So here in GIS, we have a lot of case-based studies. Whenever is something like there is difficult in these case studies, I can like quickly get the summary and key points. Like it acts like more like a supplementary material. I can also sometimes debate with the AI, like if there's a topic I'm really interested in, like what do you think? This is what I think. And then the discussion goes. It's pretty fun. And also coming to my personal life, I do use AI a lot. So nowadays we have AI integrated literally everywhere. Whenever you do a Google search, we have AI summarizing everything for us. And if I want to write any kind of essays or something like that, I can give it ideas and it will like generate like paragraphs for me. So I would say it is quite time efficient and it helps us think more and do like more manual work for us. And that's my experience.
Yeah, doing a lot of the busy work. Do you guys have any specific experiences about how you've kind of experienced AI, I guess, in helping you maybe study for classes or maybe in any way use it for some kind of more streamlined way or a streamlined approach to your education maybe?
I mean, yeah, I could say that. First of all, coming to America, like the idea of cheat sheets as you go for like a test, like that's not where I come from. Like,
Right.
like it's totally not there. So to feel confident enough after like I feel like I've read something, I will maybe prompt ChatGPT to like give me the trickiest question it can give me on the topic overall, treat me like a professor
Yeah,
in
yeah,
quotes, and then it will fire away, and then I can gauge
Nice.
how I'm doing. Yeah, so that's kind of how I use it to study. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I think I've just finished a project. It's about like making a slide, and I'm researching Netflix. And there's a tons of information in the internet, and there's a lots of journal about the newest report about something. But I feel like it's a little bit tricky because the information online is rather too repetitive or is too like not informative enough. So basically, I'll just ask ChatGPT the newest version. They will like give you the reference as a link.
Yeah.
So they will first give you the conclusion about all the information you want to search, you're probably interested in. And they will also like offer a reference in the end. So if you want to know more, just click on it. So it's more trustworthy. And I feel it's pretty good to kind of save my time to search all the information really quickly.
Have you run into any experiences where maybe if it would generate some kind of link for you that it wouldn't give you a reliable link maybe, or how have you been able to address that maybe, like if ChatGPT wasn't giving you maybe the things that you weren't looking for?
Yes, one of the biggest problem I find is that they're basically using one specific journal to generate the most of the information they're feeding to you, and that's a little bit tricky. I'll just ask one more time about the prompt. Like, I want to know more detail, maybe check this website, but they do have the limited accessibility to different websites. So at this point, I'll just, I guess, more about, give me some ideas and inspire my ideas if it's not enough.
Right. Just using it as a jumping pad, right?
Yeah.
Rather than, nice.
Yeah.
I can actually contribute here. So I have some analytics class and I'm also working on some data science projects. So I think ChatGPT is pretty bad at math because there is a lot of times where it makes simple, basic wrong calculations. Even if you tell it it's wrong, it will try to justify itself. At some point, it will realize it's a mistake, but still. So I believe like you should only use it as a supplementary and not like your primary source of information. And to give a specific example, so I'm working on some data science project as I mentioned. So we have like large data sets. So ChatGPT here is pretty helpful. We can just input the Excel sheet and we can ask it to like summarize the data and give some kind of visualization. Like you can ask it to visualize a pie chart of like how many students are learning effectively, like if we give a data set related to education. So it's pretty helpful there. But when it's coming to math, I would say always like recheck.
Right.
Yeah. I think I'd say in terms of the research, I would use it to just establish the framework that I'm going to follow. But in terms of plugging in those details, I think it could be somewhat risky to trust it to do that. So I think you kind of have to plug in your stuff. But sometimes when you do not have a good baseline to start, then it becomes a little bit tricky. You spend a lot of time that's like not very effective.
Right.
So in that sense, yeah, it pretty much compounds your effort.
Yeah, because at that point, it's really just knowing how to use AI to, as you said, kind of just a supplement to your work, but sometimes maybe using it to almost kind of proofread your data or something like that, or maybe in the sense help you figure out something that you didn't originally realize. For you, it was also just maybe trying to generate different questions, maybe from study guides or whatever that weren't already there. I know that I've done that where I would just input a lot of my, if I was studying for a midterm, I would just input the study guides that I've already done for my classes, and then ask AI to generate 3 to 4 new study guides based off of, in different contexts. So it's very useful in the sense of maybe generating worksheets or study guides that aren't already there, or maybe because you need more practice, you need more help, right? Anyone else?
Yeah. I've got I think the experiences on the other side is that I'm actually the TA of one course.
Nice.
So for sometimes when I like looking for the article and I'm asked to generate the quiz question, I'll put the article link to the AI, and I'll also feed the syllabus of our course and see if AI see any like connection between the syllabus and the course and probably generate some of the potential question that we can use, and then we can check that, and it's quite really efficient and is really directly connect to each other because the way they are searching for words is pretty accurate, I'll say.
Yeah. Do you think it raises the bar for what students may be capable of when it comes to studying, when it comes to their education, especially since AI now is kind of almost streamlining the way that we learn?
I think it really depends, right? Just like any other technological advancement, we had internet. So it depends more on how you utilize it. So let's take an example of LinkedIn learning. So whenever you are doing any course on LinkedIn learning, there's a chatbot there which will help you, like it can help you summarize, get key points, or if you have any kind of question from that video, you can ask it and it help you, right? So if you use it in this way, of course, it's helpful. And one more thing I would like to mention here is in all of my classes, professors always mention like how you should chat GPT. Like, and you can input your ideas, you can tell you to write something, but you should not use it to brainstorm or generate ideas for you. So they highly emphasize it. And I think it's important. If we use it in this way, we are like developing our strategical thinking, and we are also like leaving the manual writing work to AI.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I think that's the caveat right there, like she mentioned, because sometimes it can curtail the thinking within students because, you know, you kind of have a safety net or like a backup plan. So you maybe delay your studies, or you kind of compress the studies to a time that's not really realistic. And so somehow the end product is affected.
Right.
The only thing that changes is, you know, output time. Like you're much faster and more efficient. But in terms of the quality in and of itself, it becomes a bit problematic. And then with the more critical disciplines like medicine and whatnot, it becomes a little bit of a, you know, a problem in that sense. But I would say overall, yeah, it's got the potential to make us much better than those before us.
Right.
For sure.
Right. And it's such a new era now because I feel like, especially in our exposure to generative AI, it's only been maybe 4 to 5 years, right? And already so much has changed. And I also like to believe, I'm a very big history nerd, so like I also like to believe that just like any other innovative or technological innovation that's been out there, it is going to take way more than 4 to 5 years for us to kind of get used to it, but also for us to kind of maybe accustom ourselves to it. And speaking of being able to accustom ourselves to it, what has your guys' experiences been with maybe using AI then in your own personal lives? So regarding hobbies, just kind of out of work, I guess.
Well, I could say I'm a big fan of Black Mirror. It's a show on Netflix by Charlie Brooker. Felt a little bit fascinated, so I decided to like write a script like on my own, like what I think would be a nice like Black Mirror episode, and I had the idea of actually pitching it to him. Well,
wow, nice.
How did that go?
Probably I'll email Charlie Brooker the script and see how that goes. So,
yeah. No, yeah. And to her thing, how's that been so far?
Yeah.
It's been great actually. I kind of paused on it when I came to UIUC because honestly, the schedule here will not allow you to be writing scripts.
No, right. Sure.
But it's definitely something that I have been serious about for a while. It's been curious for me and also quite insightful because as you develop this thinking with the chatbots and everything, and then you start to realize, oh, this could actually be an original idea. Oh, yeah.
And I feel and a very good application of that is kind of using it to, as you guys said, have generated or supplemented your own ideas, but also just maybe get over maybe mental blocks or writer's blocks, right? Like if you're stuck, you can't figure it out, could be a nice way to kind of get yourself over the edge. Maybe.
Well, basically, in my spare time, I'm interested in art kind of stuff. So I write poem, and also I read some playwright, and I used the AI before, like try to feed them with some poetry that I love, try to let the AI to imitate the style of the poetry and generate a new one for me. It's not good. It's really bad. And the plot and the imagery is all bad. But that kind of sometimes made me think about like how you are supposedly to see the work generated from AI, because even though the style is not as the one you want, but it's just really easy for me to see that as a new individual work, especially in terms of art. And there should be lots of interpretation in the perspective of art, like how we are using the AI to generate more, I guess, contemporary concept of art. Yeah.
Yeah, I can actually relate to Delancey. Like I also used to give it some textual description and it used to generate images for me. I would say it's pretty bad. Sometimes the images are like scary, but it's fun. It's fun, like how the AI sees your textual description, how does it generate and everything. And to go into more specific, I like to work out in my free time. So I pretty much sometimes use AI to ask it to generate my workout schedule, like how many reps I should do, how much weight I should lift. So that's like pretty fun.
Nice. Awesome. So now kind of going into your own professional lives now. So you've talked a little bit about how AI has maybe been able to streamline or maybe to supplement the way in which that you go about your studies. Going into the workforce now, how do you guys kind of foresee AI just being either a small or a big part of your own fields? Because we have people from business, we have people from the communications field, we have people from engineering. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I'd say like in terms of engineering, the future is we're really trying to optimize energy efficiency, like to, get carbon neutral, basically build systems that are sustainable for those that are going to come. So interestingly, I was listening to a professor last week at the Kent seminar from UC Berkeley called Scott Mora. They're doing some incredible stuff in their transportation lab, that side, and they're using like connected vehicles to kind of optimize like charging times, So what happens is they don't want to overload the electric system, because most people charge in the evening when they go back home. So they're trying to incentivize them by giving them different price points so that they can shift the charging times before. So they're using all these, game theorized algorithms that are working out and just optimizing everything. It was actually quite beautiful to see. So I guess that is the future for my field, being able to understand the scope of the energy system and, the limits that we have now, and then coming up with the technology that I guess he uses it the best way.
I guess one of the thing in the field of communication where you say the new media is more about how it's not like directly communicate with AI, but more about how AI are applied on different social media in the algorithm, and how the apply of the algorithm will further affect people's social behavior. Like we have the cultivation theory is basically the more you see and the more you believe in, and that those are based on the content that you are fed by the social media. But the AI application on algorithm will like further make the situation severe, I will say. So I feel like the effect is more indirect, more about how the application on that will affect a long term, like shaping how people think about this word, and some in the term also help with like ideas division sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about my field, technology management. So we focus a lot on AI, right? Like we use it everywhere, like just to help us with the project deadlines. And also help us streamline workflows in a lot of teams. But of course, we can't directly, we always need a human supervision over the AI. So there's that. And we focus a lot on like generating more business documents. Like we can give it a format, like this is our ideas and this is the format we need the document. So previously how it used to be is like there are specific position that needs to write these documents. But now these people can focus more on like the numbers rather than this.
So do you guys have any maybe specific experiences that you have, or maybe specific classes, maybe your professors, or maybe how your peers may see AI affecting your own fields maybe?
Yeah, I can start here. So I have one class called Analytics for Decision Making. So the class is all about the theory of analytics and how you can use it in a business setting, right? So our professor Ashish, like he's very much advocate on learning the theories and leaving the code for the kind of AI, because the theory is more important. Once you know the theory, you can verify whether whatever the AI is generating, whether it's true or not. So we focus more on the theoretical part. We also learned how to use AI to generate a score and to get the proper analytics. And I also remember for our finals, our professor had given us a chatbot inputted with all our course material, so that if we have any kind of questions on the course or if we have any doubts, we can just ask the chatbot, and it's pretty useful in our preparation.
I don't think there's a specific class where the professor highly mentioned the effects on AI. I feel like it's a more gentle teaching about how you will use AI to basically finish your coursework.
Any specific concerns you guys have maybe about how AI might affect your career fields?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of issue with the data privacy and ethics. So as we move forward, there has been misuse of AI and just generating AI, there's a plagiarism and everything. So I think we should start learning how to effectively use AI so that we don't regress our thinking skills and all.
Yeah, I think from an engineering perspective, AI is going to make certain areas of the profession a little bit obsolete, because it compounds and stores all this much data. So if I'm a structural engineer and maybe I want to design a beam, AI will just look at a million beams that have been done before with the requirements that you have, and it will just tell you this is what you need. So you're not going to have to do any analysis or any of that, because it has all this information and it has been trained. The models have constantly been trained to do that. So in that sense, I think it's going to change the entire landscape of how we approach engineering. Maybe we're going to have to look for different problems. I mean, we saw Elon Musk receive a very huge aircraft. So maybe we're going to start looking at different problem sets. But in terms of the conventional engineering, I think it's going to make some of that phase out from the human perspective.
Do you feel like by making some parts of the field obsolete, do you think it might create more opportunities maybe? So it's getting rid of some, but do you think it might create more?
Yeah, but again, I would say it comes from a top as opposed to a down up, because if it's at the top, then it's kind of technology driven. So people who have got access to that kind of technology will be able to leverage it. But then the people that are trying to do this from first principles because they do not have access and stuff like that. I'm speaking because I'm from Uganda. So
yes.
It's kind of typical there. You find that the newest technology, the newest optimizations and whatnot are going to take 20 years to trickle down. So
right.
that becomes kind of the relative problem.
Yeah, only the early adopters or maybe the people who can afford them, right? So,
Yeah, for me, I personally want to kind of combine the communication and art together. So I feel like in terms of art management, AI is kind of working in both sides, because for art organization, there's a lot of work requires on simple daily task, not more it's more about management. At this point, I feel like it's pretty good, because for the most of the nonprofit art management, we are using the volunteer to do the simple task. So at this point, it's a really good tool for us to use AI to achieve tracing for your sponsor or tracing for the item in your storage. It's pretty nice. But I feel like in terms of art, it's a whole new thing that I feel like nowadays people generally don't accept the work from AI and see them as a piece of art, because we generally think art is a creation of human being, ourselves. So, but there's a tricky point that how we define art is evolving in this age as well. So I think it's a really playful area, and I think that creates more, more form of art at this point.
Right. Art requires more human effort, time and effort, whereas AI, that's it's a very, very non-visible line, I guess, that you can draw with those things then. So so kind of to end it there, do you guys have any more thoughts that you would like to kind of bring out about AI in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's really promising. It's really, really promising. One of my closest friends back in Uganda, who kind of piqued my interest in AI. He is part of a company. It's a finance company, so they lend money, but to farmers, agricultural loans. But you do not put up any collateral. You simply just hand over your books, and then they study them and tell you based on your business model. So they have a machine learning model that does this. So based on your books, this is what we can give you, and we know you'll pay back in this time. And so it's kind of helped the farmers to not have to go through the banking procedures and, you know, securing the collateral and all that. And I think there are little pockets where AI can really have a very significant change and difference in people's lives, and that is one of them. And so when I spoke to him about it, because he built the algorithm, it was super, super impressive, and I was kind of inspired to look out for the ways to help those around me. So
nice.
I would say it's promising. It's pretty promising.
Yeah, AI and agriculture. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Anything
So yeah, as I mentioned previously, AI is really promising. And as we move forward, I believe there's going to be more and more technology which might seem strange to us. But I believe at some point AI is going to become a part of our life, and it's really important to learn how to effectively use AI, and also to learn what are the ethical and data privacy concerns.
Right. And also a very big part of even my own field, the information sciences. So, but yeah, we'll end it there then. My name is Dolphins and Hennes again, everyone, here at the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I'm here with Ivan, Delancy, and Rashmika. Thanks for joining me today, guys.
Thank you.